I want my champagne.
In 2019, I got a contract at Accenture, and part of the paperwork is they wanted to see my matric certificate. Have you still got your matric certificate? Unfortunately, I still have mine. It's in a filing cabinet, you know, smelling of old paper and parental disappointment. That's Janet's line. It's a great line. Yeah. It's a great line, yeah. You know, just, and the paper's a dot matrix printer, you know, and it's slightly furry, you know. TED letterhead. It is not an uplifting document. This is not a story of hope and success. And I was reminded of this because it was around about the mid-years, and my child, Amy, my eldest, is doing Standard 8 in the Oudal, grade 10, it's called now apparently. I can never get my head around it. But I said to him, how's the studying going? And he said, it's going great. Everything is under control. You have nothing to worry about. And I thought, the kids of today, they are so diligent. They are so hardworking. It's so wonderful to have such lovely children who are just getting it done. It's amazing. And then the results came back. And they were printed on a beautiful paper, laser printed in full color. And it was very bad. Nothing was under control. I had a lot to worry about. Not least of which, of course, is that he hadn't told us what's going on. You know, the fear and the embarrassment and the shame, exactly as, you know, the stories I told myself about my matric certificate, all made him lie. And everything's fine, because it's just too difficult to face us. So this is horrible on so many different levels. And then, of course, it's September, and we get the results back, and then we go on holiday. This is our holiday, and I'm walking on the beach with Janet, and, you know, trudging along the sand, and the clouds are gathering, and the sea is on the left-hand side, and Janet said, you know, we can't parent our disappointment in ourselves out of our children. You know that, right? We can't parent our disappointment in ourselves out of our children. I thought, whoa. I mean, she's right, you know. We can't parent our disappointment in ourselves out of our children. But can we at least get them to get better marks? And then, you know, there's module 5, and all the coaches are coming back, and you guys are amazing. And you are having these breakthroughs. And you say, you tell us stories of how you're going home and you're crying, and your partners are patting you on the back, and you're having these amazing epiphanies, and I was jealous. Where's my breakthrough? Where's my epiphany? So I said to Janet one night, have you noticed anything different about me? Have you? And Janet gave it a little bit of thought and said, you know, you're a lot kinder to yourself. And that's the first award. We talked about kindness and compassion, and, you know, Taryn talks about love, and we talk about creating safety. And I said to Taryn, have you noticed anything different about me? It's hard for her, right? Because it's all hard for everyone. We're all living, but we're also going through this thing together. So it's hard to notice incremental changes, you know? And Taryn says, you used to say mean things about yourself, but I haven't noticed you saying those things. And of course, the mean things are the mean tapes that I'm playing about my own performance and my own whatever it is. And so I thought, if I can change the conversation with myself, maybe I can change the conversation with my child. So I thought I would have a coaching conversation with the child. And I sat the child down. And I said to the child, it comes to our notice that we are a lot more worried about your exam results than you are. Which is, Taryn says leadership, leadership is the transfer of worry. We had not transferred the worry at all. We're worried, I'm worried about my matric certificate essentially, and he's just going to be, you know, I can just see him matriculating with a very bad matric, not being able to get a job, not being able to afford rent, and then either living with us or dying naked and alone on the side of the road. And from my point of view, I don't know which is worse, actually. But I thought, and he said the most amazing thing. He said, the problem is it's hard. You have to study 18 million pages and only then do you pass. What's the pattern? Anybody? Black and white thinking, right? Awfulizing. So I said, that sounds like a lot. And if you study 17,999,999 pages, you still fail. And he looked at me and said, this doesn't make any sense. And then he realized, oh, wait a moment, maybe it's a continuum. Maybe it's not pass or fail. So I said, what would be a good mark that you want to get? And he said 70%. And I thought, yeah, whatever. Do you think you can reach that? Yeah, she says 70%. That's what we're going to go for. I said, okay, I'll tell you what. Here's the deal. You aim for 70%. You work as hard as you need to work to achieve 70%. And I will celebrate whatever mark you bring back. Whatever mark you bring back. And the conversation changed, right? Because suddenly, I wasn't hearing everything's under control, it's all fine. I was hearing, chemistry is a bit of a problem. Oh, what kind of a problem? No, it's a big problem. Oh, what are you expecting on chemistry? I'm expecting naught. Which is great. I mean, at least I'm hearing this. It's not a surprise anymore, right? So we made an appointment to see Mr. Nell. I still haven't seen the chemistry mark. I'm sure it's terrible. But I mean, we're getting somewhere. We're having a different conversation. And if I look at my matric certificate, it had a lot of E's on it. But E's my favorite letter. The first letter of my name is an E. And that matric certificate didn't define me. If my matric self were to look forward at me standing here now, I mean, I think you'd be pretty amazed. Like, you did what in your life? Whoa, I think you'd be pretty amazed. And so I learned that I had changed the conversation with myself. I had become kinder with myself, and so I could become kinder to the people around me. I changed the conversation. Safia actually found it so profound. She came to the same exact realization differently, and has made it part of her coaching profile. It's all about changing the conversation with ourselves. I thought Safia's profile really spoke to that experience of mine. I watched when athletes. This is an interesting thing. When athletes want to change their performance, they change their coach. When companies have a team that is underperforming, they change the leader. And so what does that mean? What it means is that we as human beings have a very deep-seated belief that we are made for greatness, that we yearn for authenticity. And when I sat my child down, and instead of cucking on him and telling him all the horrible things that I wanted to tell myself around my own results, when I sat down and thought to myself, this person is made for greatness, how do I unleash that? How do I listen to that? Then suddenly everything changes. And I've had the privilege of sitting at 130 different triads, between 120 and 130 different, not triads, coaching conversations. And I've seen the person in that chair listen to themselves differently. And I've seen the person in that chair remind themselves that they are made for greatness. And I've seen that person in that client chair suddenly start to yearn for authenticity, all because they were sitting across from a LightWalker coach. And so today, I got a new certificate. I am going to cry. I didn't think I would. And it's printed on photo paper in full color. It's very pretty. And it is a document of hope and success. And I want to thank every person here who had a BFO, a blinding flash of obviousness, who asked a question, who shared a celebration. Because every single one of those moments helped me change the conversation with myself and with everybody around me. And it's because of every one of those interactions that I, like you, today can stand here and say, I am a LightWalker coach. Good evening.